lights. Oh my gosh, look at these lights. Did you know that without electricity, we wouldn't have any lights? We wouldn't be able to play sports in the night, football. We wouldn't be able to come to the park. All this is possible because of electricity. Lights make so many things happen. I mean, look at this. I could come to the park and do my workout. Or try to do my workout. We can play sports. We can do baseball, football because of lights. Look at the size of these lights. They're so bright. I can't even look at them. Oh, I really can't look at them. They're very bright. And we wouldn't have lights without electricity. Wonderful electricity. You know what? You want to learn more about electricity? I think we have someone that can help us learn more about electricity. Come on, let's go. Oh, it's craziness. I have to learn more about electricity, how we use it and how we can use it better. Oh, you want to learn about voltage and current? Oh, sure. Yes. I want to learn all that stuff that you want to learn about. Well, let's learn about electricity together. Welcome to STEPCon 22. And you want to learn about it. All right, everyone. Welcome to STEP. Come on, let's make some noise. All right, let's welcome the stars of our show, Dr. Boom and Professor Matters. Come on now. Come on. All right. This is what we're used to. Good morning, Riverside. How are you today? All right. Hello. I am Professor Matters.
And I'm Dr. Boone.
We work at General Atomics down in San Diego, where we do nuclear fusion energy research for the Department of Energy. And from that research, we've learned quite a bit about electricity, and ultimately in the future, we'll want to be producing electricity.
Exactly, because fusion, we think it's the perfect energy source for humans for long term, for millions of years.
Right. But right now, we're still working with oil and coal and gas and water and wind and solar. I might have mentioned solar. But the idea, we're going to talk to you today about 3 fundamental concepts in electricity.
Indeed.
So, let's take a look here. The general natural resources that we use to ultimately produce electricity include wind, gas, and nuclear fission, and coal, and dropping water, falling water, and oil. We use those materials to either heat something up or turn a turbine. We send it through electrical transmission lines, and we end up with electricity at our house.
Okay.
So we
have another slide to go.
Oh,
sorry.
Okay.
Now,
Yes.
Now most of our electricity is produced by burning something and to boil water. Okay, and then we burn coal, we burn natural gas, we burn crude oil. We have about 100 years left, and it's about 60%, 65% of our electricity comes from that. Uranium we have about 50 years left, and wind, solar, and water power we have long term. Okay, and they're sustainable. These other guys are not very sustainable. Next slide. And so I was surprised to find out when I did some research is we have this is how much sustainable energy that we use for electricity in this country. And you see here, 9% of wind is high. It's 9%, and it beats out the other guys in terms of the use. But solar is coming up. Hydro, we don't know about the rain, but the solar should be coming up to be a bigger factor. Next slide. Okay, now this is a little cartoon that shows water falling down. When that water falls down, it's taking some of the potential energy and the kinetic energy, and it's turning a turbine down here. A turbine is a set of propellers, and that turbine turns a generator, and that produces electricity because that generator has some magnetic and electric fields in there.
Now, Dr. Boom, what do you got here?
I have a generator. The generator's right here. Sorry, I'm going to turn my mic off.
So, Dr. Boom has a generator here, and that generator is operated by his human power. Human power, and our load, or the thing we're going to show here, are a couple types of lights. Doesn't seem like a big deal, right? These lights over here are incandescent lights. It means to glow. Ultimately, those incandescent lights produce a lot of heat, but not a lot of light. So let's urge Dr. Boom on here. Tell him we want more light, more light, more light, more light. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Maybe he did so much that we have no more.
I broke it.
You broke it. All right. Well, we're going to try this other side. It's a different technology called light-emitting diodes. And one-handed? So with very little input energy, he can produce even more light than he had before. Now, we interpret this less input energy as if we were at a power plant, we would use less oil, less coal, less solar power.
Yep.
We would use less natural resources. So this is a technological difference that allows us to use less natural resources. Now, in an electrical circuit, we have to have whatever's moving in there, we call it charge, has to move all the way through the circuit. So we have a source of charge.
This is a DC circuit because it runs from a battery.
So that's the source of charge, and that's the source of the energy that'll push that
DC means direct current.
charge, right? Or non-varying, non-changing.
Right.
In this case, the electrons that are carrying the charge, the higher energy charge, go through a light bulb, light up the light bulb. You've seen that before.
We just did, right? And so we have a complete circuit here. We can measure the current with the amps right here, and we have a switch, and the effect is basically a light. Next slide. Okay, so we have basically three kinds of circuits. There's a complete circuit down there.
Right, we have with a closed switch.
Right.
The switch is closed. That allows the electrical current to flow through.
Like we saw on the last slide, this one here is an open switch, open circuit, so it has an open switch. And so there are no current flows in that one. And this one here is a short circuit, which is a bad circuit, which the current all flows through this short here, and this has to be fixed. Next.
All right, very good.
So now what comes out of the wall is alternating current, and it goes positive, negative, positive, negative. It goes back and forth in the wires, and the battery, what comes out of batteries is DC voltage or DC current, direct current.
Okay, so we want to talk a little bit about resistance, and we want to talk about materials, and we want to talk about your toaster. Now, you don't know this, but we borrowed your toaster from home. Did you have a toaster at home? We brought it in, okay? And we want to talk about that. And while you're waiting there, I want to give a shout out to Mr. Lee in his science class. So we have a toaster here. And how does that toast get actually toasted? Well, there's a certain material inside that toaster that when we put electrical current through, it actually glows, it gives off heat, and it gives off light. It's called nichrome wire. Can we have the lights down, please? So we have a piece of nichrome wire up here. We're going to run electrical current through it, and it's glowing orange hot. Okay?
That's pretty hot.
I can feel the heat there.
If I touched it, I'd be burnt.
Right?
I'd be branded. You know?
So it's giving off light and it's giving off heat. And when we use it in a toaster, it actually toasts the bread.
So the voltage is applying a voltage, which is the pressure of the electrons to flow. The current is the electrons flowing.
But this has a high enough resistance that a lot of that energy, a lot of that charge is trying to go through, doesn't really make it through so much as actually being used up as heating up the atoms in there.
Wow, so there's a limit on how much current can go through this.
Yes. That's very cool. Now that's with a solid material. That's with something made out of nickel and chrome. Nickel and chromium are two of the elements on the periodic table. We have some things here that are a little bit more kind of down home, you might say.
Well, everything has resistance in the universe. There's resistance to current flow, and There's resistance in my body. There's resistance in water. There's resistance in the resistors that we use in circuits.
We can have large resistors and we can have small resistors. Their value can be the same. The physical size has to do with how much power they can actually dissipate. So this is what one might find in an electronic circuit board. But what have you got here, Dr. Boom?
Well, what we have is 4 containers. We have soda in this one.
Soda?
And water in this one. Milk in this one. And we'll put salt water in this one.
Okay, so what we're going to be looking at is to see they are connected in the circuit with this light bulb here. If this light bulb lights up, think about it. If the light bulb lights up, that means that electrical current has made it through the circuit. That means there's low resistance. That means whatever material is in here allows current to go through.
Are you ready for me to turn it on?
Yeah.
Okay, here it is. It's on. Can you see it?
No.
Can you see the light?
Where are you? You're connected to the soda.
Yep.
I see no light there.
So
if there's no light, that means
flowing.
No current.
Okay, so I'll turn this off.
Go ahead. So no current means that soda had a high resistance. It kept that current from flowing through.
Now this is regular tap water from Riverside. So we turn this one on?
Sure.
I'm sorry, this is soda. Sorry, not from Riverside. This is water from Riverside. The same thing. It's high resistance.
So keep the lights off, please. So I see no current, and that means high resistance because there's no flow. Well, let's try milk. If water doesn't.
This is whole milk. It's not.
If water doesn't allow it, I don't think that whole milk.
It's not skim milk. Okay, here we go.
Oh, look at that. So the milk actually allows current to flow through. The milk has a lower resistance than plain water or soda.
Right.
Now, what you need inside of those liquids are some ions, some pluses and minus charges. So what we're going to do here, I'm going to put in some water. I'm going to put some water in this container. Here, let's not do that. I'm going to put some water in here so that you can see. And you've already seen that water itself has high resistance, did not allow current to flow.
Okay. So now what are you going to add to the water?
So I have a little bit of salt here.
Oh.
Sodium chloride. And when sodium chloride, the molecule sodium chloride gets into water, it breaks up into sodium plus ions and chloride minus ions. So we have charges.
So it dissolves.
Charged particles. So
right,
are you switched on?
Oh, yep.
Okay, we're switched on. Lights down, please. I'm going to start pouring in a little bit of salt, and you watch the light.
Come on, you gotta pour it fast. Come on, man. Oh, there we go. Look at that.
All right. And the more salt I put in, let's see what happens.
The brighter it gets. Oh my gosh.
Wow. That is bright.
Yeah.
Okay.
Indeed.
So with the more salt in there, the less resistant, the more current flow.
Right.
Very good, Dr. Boom. Thank you.
All right, thank you. So now we have time for some questions, and if we get through the questions pretty fast, we'll go back to the demo.
Okay. So we talked a little bit about resistance. Now you'll find out that resistance.
All right, everyone. Thank you for watching the show. Let's see if you were paying attention. Go on the Kahoot website that's linked to Six Connects and join the game. There's the game pin for you to join. And we're going to go ahead and play a game. See if you were paying attention. We were listening to the craziness. And thank you for joining us this morning, wherever you're at school, at home, in your classroom, in your cafeteria, in your NPR, at UCR, at top of a mountain, on top of a hill, wherever you're at. Thank you for joining. And let's play our Kahoot and let's see if you learn anything. All right. Thank you for joining. All right. All right. We'll give another 40 seconds or so, 40, 50 seconds for people to join. Thank you, everyone, for joining. All right. Teachers, if you're in your classroom and your kids on their Chromebooks, definitely have them join so they can play the game. Or if you're in a classroom setting, make sure that you join the game from your computer and you play along as a classroom. However you're watching STEP today, thank you. And we're going to have fun with these questions. All right. 30 more seconds, and then we're going to move on to the first question. Hopefully you're paying attention. We'll find out which of you will be at the top of the leaderboard today for our Kahoot. All right, 15 more seconds and then we're going to move on to our game. All right, thank you. Awesome, look at that. So many students, so many people participating today. Can we get to 100? Can we get to 100? 92, 93, 94, 95. Oh, we got to 98. 100. Oh, awesome. Great participation. Let's go ahead and get started then. Ready? Are you ready? Let's answer some questions. Here we go. All right. Let's see. Test your knowledge. Let's see if you're paying attention. Jose and Ana are using liquid as a resistor for their light bulb. If they want a dimmer light bulb, they should use what type of resistance? Low resistance, high resistance, no resistance, or medium resistance. All right, 20 more seconds. What kind of resistance do you want to use if you're running a current and you want a light bulb that's not that bright? Not that bright. Sometimes I feel like I'm not that bright either. All right, so let's see. Here we go. Here we go. Let's see what the right answer is. The right answer is high resistance. And 46 of you got that correct. I know, it kind of throws you off, high, low. But if you're paying attention, you knew the right answer. And let's see which of you answered it the quickest. And that was Gear. Congratulations, Gear, Lily, and Che. Oh yeah, Che. Hey is in 4th place. Bill Nye, that who just joined and is in 5th place. All right, so let's go ahead and do the next question. Here we go. Question 2. Jose and Julia built a circuit with 2 light bulbs, an incandescent and an LED. They found that the LED bulb was what? Did it use less energy than incandescent? More energy? That incandescent lights have a filament, or that there's no difference between the LED and incandescent? And there is a picture there of what they are. So let's see, 31 answers so far. What is the what's one of the differences between those 2 types of light bulbs? 4, 3, 2, 1, and time is up. The right answer is they use less energy, and good job, everyone. That was the most popular answer. So great job, everyone, for listening. And let's see how we did on our leaderboard. All right, here we go. In 3rd place, we had Hey. And then 2nd place, Muhammad, the iBest, whoever in the world that is. And in 1st place, both answers correct, Bill Nye, the science guy. Bill Nye, the science guy. So congratulations, Riam, and Victory is in 5th. Congratulations. Thank you for playing along with us. Remember to engage in this platform, 6 Connects. You're going to be a lot of places to engage, and there's also a leaderboard contest there. So make sure that you are participating with that. Thank you, and we're going to go back to the show.
Hello everybody, my name is Christian Gracia. I am an electrical and computer engineering student here at California Baptist University. The device I'm actually going to be showing you today is called a power pole board. And essentially what it allows us to do is convert a DC voltage to another DC voltage, whether that be higher or lower. And how this actually works is it utilizes high frequency switching along with powered semiconductor switches, inductors, capacitors, to be able to change that voltage. This device is relatively efficient and theoretically can be 100% efficient. It also is used in many applications. As an EC student here at California Baptist University and a professional trainee at Southern California Edison, I actually find this equipment to be relatively exciting because it allows us to take advantage of photovoltaics or renewable energy, which is actually here in the lab.
Hello, my name is David Everhart, and I'm an electrical and computer engineering student here at California Baptist University. I serve as the current president for the Formula SAE EV team. Essentially what Formula SAE is we design and fabricate an all-electric Formula-style go-kart, as you can see behind me. What I'm going to be presenting to you today is our powertrain and drive system. So we designed a high-voltage battery pack which goes through our Reinhardt BM100DX inverter that ends up in our MRAX 228 medium voltage motor. So essentially what's happening is we have DC coming out of the battery pack, which goes into the inverter, converts it to AC. We send that energy to the motor so that we're able to propel the vehicle forward. And as soon as we stop accelerating, we're able to recuperate that energy through regenerative braking. So essentially what that is the motor turns into a generator. While we're coasting, it sends energy back into the inverter. The inverter converts it to DC, which sends that energy back into the battery pack so that we're able to charge while we're driving, which will allow us to save weight and save space with the battery pack. I'm super excited about this project and extremely happy that we're able to work, get real world experience with some of the stuff in the EV automotive industry and be able to propel it forward as we go into our careers.
All right. Thank you to the students up there. One of these days you'll be in college, maybe at CBU, UC Riverside, San Diego State, any of the other places, somewhere in New York. Who knows? That's awesome. Okay, what have you got here, Dr. Boom?
I have Professor Matters. I have a magnet in here, and I have a magnet in here. These are big magnets, they're strong magnets. And if we push their light poles together, they repel. And these are magnetic fields, magnetic energy.
Wow.
And
these are strong. These are magnets.
But if we turn them around, they will stick.
Well,
no problem, right?
Sure.
So the point is that we drag these magnetic fields through coils of wire. And the electricity is generated by the magnetic field being cut by the magnetic field lines. I'm sorry, by the coil. And so we have a demo for that.
Oh, yes. So you're telling me that if we take a magnetic field and just go by some wire, that's not even hooked up to a battery or anything.
No battery. And this is a galvanometer here, and this will tell us the polarity of the magnetic field moving in and out across the coil. So this here is a magnet. These are magnets.
So this will measure effectively the current that's being produced down there.
Right.
As you're moving that. So all you're doing, you're moving the magnet through space.
Right.
But to that coil, you're changing the magnetic field that it sees.
Yes, the field's moving through the coil.
And it's producing current.
Yes. And so can we
Excellent.
Get a view of this on screen? Okay, we're good. Here we go. See that? As it moves, it goes in, it's one direction, pulls out, it's the other direction. So that's the positive and negative flow of electrons. Okay,
so that's pretty cool. You're just moving that magnet near that coil, and you're making it just deflect.
Right.
You're making.
So this is the kind of current that comes from your wall in your outlet. It's alternating current.
Well, I think this is also the way the big power plants, when they're turning that turbine and inside that electrical generator, they have magnets and they have coils. And as those magnets turn by those coils, it produces electrical current.
Exactly. And so we have a coil of wire here that we're going to show. And so we have 200 turns here. You can plug that in for me, Professor Matters. And so we have 200 turns here, and the current will flow and go boom, boom, back and forth. 60 times per second, it will change direction. Now, how far do you think an electron moves in that movement? Well, it's only about 4 millimeters. So the electrons don't really move all the way through the wire. They only go back and forth like little springs, okay? And so that's how alternating current works. And so when we produce a current in here, there's a field that's created. North pole over here, high, and south pole over here. But that changes with 60 times a second, back and forth, back and forth.
Dr. Boom, you're telling me on your last demonstration, you changed the magnetic field and that produced a current, a changing current. And now you're saying if we make a changing current, you can produce a magnetic field?
That changes with the current.
So changing currents and changing magnetic fields are really interconnected.
Connected. You can't have one without the other.
Oh.
So now what we're going to do is we're going to put this on this plastic box, a non-conductor, turn it on, and nothing happens. Oh.
So the non-conductor means it can't push electrons through here very easily.
Right.
So here's some aluminum.
This is non-magnetic.
I can't stick a magnet to it.
Should we turn it on?
Sure.
Yeah.
Let's see what happens.
So now this is floating. It's levitating.
Now that is cool, Dr. Boom.
Right, and the way this works is it induces a current inside the plate, the aluminum plate. So that if the North Pole's pushing in, a North Pole's produced in the plate pushing back. And then it changes 60 times a second, so it's north, north, south, 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 north, 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 south, north, south, north, south. I can't say it fast enough. So there you go.
And so you're saying that every time that plate becomes north, every time that the coil is pushing north, that plate is also north.
Yep.
So it's repelling, just like we had with these. Now, you know what would be cool?
What?
See that student out there?
Yeah.
If we could get that student, if we could get this coil and this aluminum and turn it upside down and put that student right over there on here, maybe we can float it around.
We can float them around. I have a demo for that.
Unfortunately, our magnet up here isn't large enough for that student.
I have a demo for that. So what I'd like to do here, we have
a little pancake coil. We call it a pancake coil here.
It's flat.
It's a wrap of wire that's pretty darn flat. And Dr. Boom is going to use this energy storage device here and a power supply to put a lot of energy, a lot of current through this little magnet.
All at once.
Very rapidly. And that'll induce a magnetic field on here. And we might levitate this can. I think last time we got it a few centimeters off of here.
Yeah, well,
Let's see what happens.
All right. So we're going to charge it up to thousands of volts, the capacitor.
So we're going to put
1,000, 2,000, we're at 2,000.
No, say higher. 2,000.
We got 3,000.
3,000. Higher.
You go to 4,000?
4,000. Higher.
Okay. Should I go higher than 4,000? All right. Yeah, I'm at 5,000. Is that enough? That's as far as I can go. Okay, you ready for this can?
3, 2.
Wow.
Nicely done.
Look at that. Hands up.
Thank you. Thank you. Now, that was very cool. We made a north or a south pole on there. This became a north or a south pole, and it launched, right? You could almost go to the moon with that. Maybe not the moon, but pretty close.
Yeah, we can go into orbit, right? All right, so now I have here an aluminum ring, and I have another coil. We changed the polarity here, and I have a cucumber up here, and I have a cushion up here, and I have a cucumber catcher, okay? And so what I'm gonna do here is launch this here aluminum ring through the cucumber, and it'll end up here, and then you'll see what happens to the cucumber. Are you ready? Okay, we're charging up now. It takes a little while to charge up. Yeah. We need a lot of energy.
Nice.
We need a lot of energy to go through.
Higher.
All right. Okay, here we go. 3, 2, 1. Oh.
Now, you can see why we have this big shell up here, because we don't want things going all over the stage that might go on you. But the idea here is that one can use electricity and magnetism to do things, to do work. And it's a pretty awesome thing. Oh.
Okay.
Hey, how about if we do another can? I think we might have time for another can.
Time for another can? Sure.
You want to do another can?
Change the switches? Did you change the switches? Okay.
Now remember, it's the changing current that's making a changing magnetic field.
That's right. And the magnetic field is inducing a current. There we go. 3,000 volts, 4,000 volts, 5,000 volts. Here we go. Ready? 3, 2, 1.
Wow!
Whoa.
That really took off. And again, this is slightly warm because some current went through it. And you could launch this thing pretty good, several meters in the air. Very awesome, Dr. Boom. Thank you.
Yeah, good deal.
Thank you. You got that?
Yep.
All right, so we've talked a little bit about resistance, a little bit about current, tiny bit about voltage, and I think here in a moment we might have some questions for you.
All right, online audience. It's time to play our game. All right, so here's the game pin again, just like before. There's the pin. And let's go ahead and play our game. All right, let's see if you were paying attention for this last segment where we saw a lot of stuff happening with the current, the electrical current. So go ahead and go back to that Kahoot and log in with this code for our next game. All right. And we'll give everyone a couple minutes to log in. Thank you for going in. All right, Mrs. L's class representing. All right. Let's see how we do this time around. All right. We'll give you about 40 more seconds to log in. Thank you. Oh my goodness. Awesome. Log into the game and we're getting ready to get started and see if you're paying attention to all the craziness. And we'll see how we do this time. The first question, we didn't do that great. The second question, we did a lot better. Great job to everyone. And of course, we'll see how we do with these next two questions. All right. So here we go. We're still accepting users, about 20 more seconds, and then we'll get the question started. All right. Thank you for joining us today. Hopefully you're enjoying the step. Hopefully you take the opportunity to enjoy the rest of the content that is also on our website, on our landing site. All right, here we go. For a few more seconds, then we're going to get started. Okay. You ready to get started? Let's go. Let's do it. All right, let's get going with questions 3 and 4 for our step science show. Let's see. Our third question for today. Samuel and Eva connect a coil of wire to a battery. The current produces a magnetic field. That field can let them do what? Repel a piece of paper, pick up iron nails, pick up aluminum nails, or attract water. Again, you have a coil around the battery. The current that's produces a magnetic field, and what can that field let them do? Paper, pick up nails, pick up aluminum nails, pick up or attract water. Okay, 5 more seconds. Okay, 2, 1. Okay, let's see how we did. Oh my goodness, the right answer was pick up nails, and most of you got the right answer. Give yourselves a round of applause. Now let's see which user was the one that did it the quickest. All right, we have Andrew. Good job. Little Fajita is in second place. Roman is in third place. JC is in fourth, and Donna Laura is in fifth place. We got one more question. Are you ready for one more question? I'm ready for one more question. I hope you are. Here we go. All right. Another question. Izzy and Dizzy were going to make some toast and saw the resistor strips of wire glowing inside the toaster. What makes them glow? Is it voltage that's heating them up? Current that's heating them up? Light or heat? Now, again, if you're watching the show, we saw a demonstration about this. What made those coils heat up? Is it voltage? Is it current? Is it light? Is it heat? But according to the show, they use a word to explain what heat things up. All right, here we go. Time is up. So let's see what the answers are. The answer is it's current that heats it up. 31 of you got it. So if you're paying attention, you know that when current runs through a wire, you can do that kind of stuff. So let's go ahead and see how we did with the leaderboard. In third place, Roman. And in second place, the user is Donut Lord. And in first place, 2 out of 2 and quickly, Andrew. All right, congratulations to all of you for doing the quiz, for getting the right answers, for paying attention, and again, engage in more content with the 6Connects platform so that you can be eligible for the leaderboard prizes. We have over 60 exhibitors on there, so connect, engage, and thank you for coming to STEP. And the show continues in a second.
What's up, everyone? My name is Martin Mejia, and I'm the current electrical lead for Ship Solar Boat team at UC Riverside. I'm also a third-year computer engineering major in my university. So what we have here is a DC motor connected to our power supply that's composed of 8 batteries. And our batteries are basically sending the direct current back into our motor. So if I could take our throttle controller right now and turn it on, I'll be able to regulate the amount of voltage going into the motor. And as you can see, the more I turn the knob, I'll be able to increase the rotational speed of our motor, which is also known as RPM. If I could increase the current instead, I'll be able to produce a higher rotational force, which is also known as torque. What we're doing with our DC motor in our boat is we're attaching an evaporator bolt and we're connecting our motor into a propeller. And in doing so, we'll be able to generate a rotational force in our propeller, pushing our boat forward into the heavy waters. And thank you for listening. And remember that STEM is the present and future. And we hope to see you here one day as well.
Welcome to the D3D pit. This is where the tokamak, heating systems, diagnostics, and all the other cool tools we use live. So behind me is a giant pumpkin. That is the tokamak. Inside the tokamak is where the plasma exists, and it gets super, super hot in there. On the outside of the pumpkin, you can see these big tan bands, and those are the magnetic field coils. Those create a kind of cage to keep the plasma confined, because if it wasn't confined, the plasma would get super hot, expand, and burn everything inside, which is bad. Here, we accelerate particles super, super fast and shoot them into the plasma. Overall, if we add enough of these particles, the overall temperature of the plasma increases, and hopefully we get fusion of the particles inside. As you can see, this is a huge room with a ton of different systems that are all super cool in their own way. Meantime, science is cool. Keep up with it.
So now we come to our third part of the show. We've talked about resistance, a little bit about current. Oh, Dr. Boom, what is this over here?
Okay, what this is a little slide about fusion energy. Okay, and so the fusion benefits are that it's a high density energy source. And so we're from San Diego County, so we need like 3 gigawatt power plants of fusion energy to support us. We have 200 million year supply of fuel on the Earth, in the Earth's water system. We don't take the water away, we just take the gas out of it. There are no CO2 emissions. That's a very important thing these days. And we have low level material activation. So that means the machine becomes radioactive, but it's not high level, like uranium. So voltage is used in your radios, in your cell phones, in your computers, and it's used as the main driving force instead of the current. The current's important, but it's not as important as the voltage. Next.
So we have something we want to show you here. We call it a Jacob's ladder, and it has to do with voltage.
First, we're gonna before we get to Jacob's ladder, we're gonna do the Tesla coil.
Yes, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
So we want to look at the concept of voltage and high voltage. If we have high enough voltage, like tens of thousands of volts, we can actually, what we say, break down the air here. We can actually...
Where'd they go? They're right there. Right there.
Oh yeah. We can actually break down air. That means ripping an electron off of an atom. So here's a little high voltage. About 100 volts goes in and about 30,000 goes out. Can I have the lights off, please? So what I have in my hand is a glass tube. It has some gas in it. And let's see if we can excite the gas. If we can excite the gas with that electric field.
You're not even touching it.
Get on here. No, I wasn't. I'm many centimeters away. And now we can ionize the gas to make what we call a plasma.
Oh.
Okay. So that's a plasma inside of there. And this type of gas, this orange one, this is neon. Let me show you some argon. This is argon here. Neon and argon. Who likes neon? Who likes argon? Very cool. All right, can you tell the difference here? What's that one?
Okay, you guys got it down.
All right. Those different colors there, if you look at them with a spectroscope, you can actually see if they're on other stars, you can see what gases are on other stars. And that's how scientists figure out what stars are made of.
Exactly.
Now, the electric field here, it emanates out. You saw that I wasn't even touching the glass and we could get that light to light up. What do you have there?
I have a radio, and a radio picks up electromagnetic radiation in radio waves. And this puts out some radio waves that we can pick up from the static that's on here. So if you modulate this, which means change it, you'll hear it.
Okay, so you're going to put the speaker by your ear. What happened? You turned it off.
No, the radio failed. Houston,
we have a problem. There we go.
Okay, so you hear that? That's like dots and dashes for like Morse code. Marconi and Tesla use this stuff to transmit signals. About 1900, year 1900 or so, it became a big deal.
All right, so that's a little demo on how kind of radio works. The cell phones that you and your parents have work in the same manner as that. A little more complex, of course.
Now what we have here is a Tesla coil.
Jacob's ladder.
The Jacob's ladder, sorry. And the Jacob's ladder takes in 120 volts from the wall and it puts out 15,000 volts at the end here. And the voltage is enough to jump across the air at the narrow point. And then let's see what happens. So it goes up. Cool. It goes up because it's convective current. I mean, it's hot air rises basically, and so it makes and breaks the arc 60 times a second, and it kind of gets stuck sometimes because there's an air passage coming, airflow coming from over there. Why don't you stand right over this way a little bit? All right, that's perfect. Okay. All right.
That is very cool, Dr. Bill.
It's called Jacob's ladder. It's a voltage device. Okay.
There, I'll take care of this.
Okay.
Now, I like my little Tesla coil. I thought that was pretty cool.
Your little Tesla coil, we have another one that has some pizzazz. This Tesla coil is much larger. Now, the small one that Professor Matters had in his hand puts out 30,000 volts at the end, okay? Now, that's high voltage, However, this one here puts out 250,000 volts at the end, okay? So 250,000 volts is a lot of volts.
250,000 volts.
That's
That's
quarter
nearly
million.
10 times the amount of voltage that the smaller handheld Tesla put out.
Indeed.
So I think I'm going to stand back from this one. You guys are okay. It seldom gets out there.
You know, when we turn this one on, it makes a lot of noise. So it's like laboratory lightning and thunder. And so the arcs come out, and then they heat the air to 12,000 degrees centigrade, and the air then expands, and it makes a crackle, right? So it's like thunder. So after each lightning bolt, I don't know, you don't have much lightning up here, but after each lightning bolt in nature, there's a loud boom. That's called thunder. Be ready. Turn it on. Here we go. 3, 2, 1.
Wow, that's a very strong electric field coming from there. Now, is that neon or argon? Neon! Very cool, Dr. Boom. Very cool.
Okay, so now, just think if a meteor came through the ceiling here and ended up at the Tesla coil, and let's see what would happen. Wow.
All right. Nice little meteor.
That meteor was flying right around.
All right, thank you. Very good. Now, remember, we're doing things on electricity, and electricity can harm you, so don't be doing this at home or in school without somebody knowledgeable. Now, we would like to, yeah, go ahead. We would like to send you off with a fond farewell.
All right, so what we have up here is called the longest plasma device in Riverside.
Yes.
So we need a couple of volunteers. Yeah, okay, this is Kennedy. And if you could pick up that end. And Abdi. Okay, you pick up that end. And Lily, you can pick it up the middle end.
Go back as far as you can.
Yeah, back up as far as you can. Okay, just pull this in. You can hold it like you're here. Okay, that's good. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is light this up from one end to the other. Okay, so ready? Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6,
Dr. Boom, Dr.
7.
Boom, Dr. Boom.
What?
You said you were going to light it up from one end to the other.
I was.
No. It's got to be at the same time.
Same time. Oh, that's different. Okay, so let's see. Let's see. 2.
No,
3.
these aren't lit up.
Well,
Is there something wrong with your circuit here, Dr. Boom?
Well,
Is there something that's keeping the current from flowing?
I think it's getting
You have
there.
something that's high resistance in here?
Oh.
What's going on?
Oh, holy smokes. Well, maybe that's the answer. Look at that. Oh, we're almost there.
We're almost there. Okay, there you go.
There we got it
All
going.
the
All the
way.
way. Yay.
Okay, not super bright, but all the way. One side of the
We did
good
it.
job, Dr. Boom. All right, very good.
All right. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Good job.
Let's give a hand to our helpers here.
Thank you.
All right.
Now, hold on to that Tesla coil. We have another 10 seconds here. We want to kind of put all this stuff together. We want to talk about voltage, making an arc, a little bit of current, and doing some work here.
Work, indeed.
Okay, so we have screws going through here. They make a little gap, and Dr. Boom is going to make a spark jump across that, and then spark is going to ignite some little fluid that's in here. That fluid's going to expand and pop out the core.
All right,
Let's see what happens. Countdown. 3, 2, 1. Very nice, Dr. Boom. Thank you.
All right. Thank you.
And thank you all.
Thanks for coming.
Carlos.
For Dr. Boom and Professor Matter. All right. And a big thank you to all of our sponsors: General Atomics, Princeton Particle Physics Lab, UC Merrick Psychology Engineering, Cal Baptist University, Department of Energy, and the Port Force Incorporated and Force Technology Center. Thank you for being here. Thank you for coming. Have